Let's get down to business tonight, peeps. There are Huns to defeat, after all, and another season. Another season to go through with the Greenville Good Dudes. The morale system still has me fearing for my life. But the good news is just a bunch of RFAs that have to sign. Do I think NHL 24 will be shit too? At the moment, currently relatively optimistic for NHL 24. That said, will that optimism turn into anything? No. No, it won't. Cam, what's going on? At the moment, I'm not dreading a new game and the direction that I know they're going with it that I cannot talk about. But we'll see what happens. Got an SCU shirt in the mail today. I'm wearing it. That's a reference. That hasn't been a wrestling stable for like 3 years. Planning for my hockey trip next weekend. Hockey trip details. NHL 24 doesn't matter. Madden NFL season started. I mean, it is true. Like, we're going to have a bunch. I mean, you guys know I play the shit out of Madden. Madden, FIFA, NBA, NHL. I mean, the start, the end of summer into the start of fall and into the winter is always a fun time. Hawks, very nice. Very, very nice. We want golf. Honestly, I don't mind the golf games. I really don't. It's just more fun to play with friends on meme courses, but not everybody. Like, again, that requires, like, endo, people like that to end up getting the game, and they might not. So, but I don't mind it. I've ever played with 2BC. So when Johnny ran lobbies way back in the day on like the Xbox 360 era, before I was on YouTube, I got into a couple of lobby games, stuff like that. But in terms of like, hey, he is, as far as I think there were conversations with him back in the day. Used to talk with Bacon Country a lot. I can't get a read on whether that guy likes me or not. At first I think he did, and then I don't know, I think he doesn't like me anymore. NEF1 later on tonight, probably. I do still enjoy switching. Which golf game? I don't know, Endo. Like there were two main, like, non-animation style golf games that came out this year. Those particular games. Any interesting ideas for Madden this year? Depends on what those franchise changes look like. Remind you had better NBA numbers than NHL at one point this year. That's true. But then I also had very good franchise numbers for NHL in June. Which is still very funny to me. Very funny to me. But yeah, there were those two like primary golf games that were out this year. All right. And I think both would be fun. At the same time, it's like, oh, a golf career mode. I'm like, it's just something about a golf career mode and playing through it where I'm just like, it just doesn't quite read to me. Play competitive men's ball hockey here in Canada. In Manitoba next week, my team is competing in the Canadian Ball Hockey Association men's B, C, and D national championships. Competing in D division against 11. That sounds fucking awesome. I'm jealous. Don't know that I'm jealous. Know that I'm jealous. All right? Just know that. I am jealous. Very, very jealous, actually. So just know that. Gotta max out this goddamn contract offer. This is going to take 16 bajillion years. Damn. But yeah, for Madden ideas, I mean, again, we'll see what's out there. We'll see what's out there. I mean, every year it feels like we run like a straightforward Madden, more of a Draft to Glory based Madden. Draft to Glories on Madden are always so fun. The UDFA, Undrafted Free Agent Challenge, works so well in Madden. That's maybe the most fun, is the UDFA challenge. Even though, of course, the draft is one of the best parts of the game. So, honestly, we might end up running a Draft to Glory and then a UDFA challenge back to back. Might be the way to do it. It might be. Goodness. Yeah, just because of the way you can actually develop talents, and I mean, it's, something that works well in Madden, but does not work so well in other games like this one, unfortunately. Oh, goodness. Why is this person looking for $1.9 million if they're this sought after? Now I gotta go all the way up to $9 million. Jesus. Mr. Webster! Good to see you. Good to see you. Did they put your name on the cup? They should have. Oh, wow, that's why he only wants 2.7. Danny, how are you, though, buddy? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. All right, we are pretty much good to go. That's really all the offseason consists of right now. We'll see if there's anybody that... Stubbs as well, what's going on? We'll see if anybody gets the offer sheet from somebody else and if it's worth it for us to take it. As we do get Jared Tierney. We do not get Dominic Bertram, but that's okay. That is okay. It's going to be weird seeing Aaron Rodgers in a New York jersey this year. It's going to be great, too, when they're not good. That's right, I said it. Ever play competitive hockey IRL? Very, very little. Quite injury prone. And didn't come from the wealthiest of families. Second round pick for Jordan Gavin. We will match that offer. He's worth way more than a second round pick. Still got Braden Egg. I will petition for media members to get a small sliver at the bottom. In the smallest text possible. Missed the NBA franchise against chat. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, could we bring that back this month? Yes, but then the new NBA is going to be out. Like, I know they announced that Kobe was going to be on the cover again, which, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, but 2K just trotting out that fucking body to sell copies of a video game is kind of disgusting. But 2K's store has the release date as September 8th for NBA 2K24. So at this point, we might as well just wait 2 months, right? Might as well just wait 2 more months for the new NBA. And then hopefully they've improved things like eras to be that much better. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun on NBA. We did, certainly this year. We never actually got around to a modern day NBA franchise this year, and I gotta be honest, it doesn't really upset me that much. Although this year would be the year to do a modern day NBA, because obviously you'll have a certain #1 overall pick who just made franchise mode very, very interesting in NBA moving forward. Hell, he made the NBA more interesting. So, let's see, I need an NLA scout. I do. What's the team looking like? You'll see in one moment. But yeah, July could be a big month of hockey content for us. In that we'll see what's up. He also can't put in a rebound in the summer league. Again, the idea of reading summer league is anything. Never really that much of a good idea. It's like, Chet Holmgren got injured last year, bust, and it's like, well, give it some time. And then he looked really good in his first summer league game. So, by the way, give me uno momento. Give me a second. I can't think. Yeah, like I said, NHL is probably going to be rather relevant for us this month. I mean, between this and, once now Sin's back in the U.S. and, once he is a little bit more settled in and used to being back home, we're probably going to gather the friendos for another NHL 2K10 playthrough. So, I think we'll have a good time. Let's see, one more contract. All right, we do need cap whales. Probably 3 of them. But yeah, we will more than likely be bringing back that playthrough. Poor Sin had to go back to California. Let's see. Matvey, I think it's Matvey Machowski. I know he was with the Red Wings. Which team he used, and we'll find out. We'll find out. We did have the idea of, and again, we started to do it last summer, but then we made too many tweaks, and people were short on time. But we did do that fantasy draft last time, where people got to alternate picks and stuff like that. We might go back to that idea. We may very well go back to it. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Larson. Oliver Lawsome Tossum. Do I still have that clip on here? I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't think I have the Lawsome Tossum anymore. I have this. Or do I not have that? I have this. It's been a while since we played that clip. God bless Jay and Dan. Bless them. Bless them. All right, let's take a look at what this team is going to be this season. Mozone duly noted. So Dag is up to a 79. Enqvist is a 71. And those will be our goalies with Chubarov and Garcia in the AHL. We do got to send down a forward for the moment. Defense. And obviously Etienne Morin needs to be on the team. It looks like our defense actually won't be that bad if we go off of highest rated. Morin went up to a medium 4, right? He was a high 6 before. Medium 6, the medium elite, Maximilian Trigg. First overall pick. Low 4, medium 7 to low 4. So Calvin Ellis is the one that you look at where it's like, should someone like Rick Byers be on the roster instead? I think at this point we could just go for highest rated. A lot of left defensemen, but... And then we can call up OEL to be the healthy scratch. So, that works for me. That is the big decision. Do we run with the highest rated players or still with the best potential? And again, Ellis isn't going to get much better. He does make the team a bit better, though. Honestly, maybe we do get Ricky Byers in there. Maybe we do. Yeah, you know, no, I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with my gut on this. We'll set it up that way. Forward-wise, obviously Jaeger and Barkey need to be on the roster. We got quite a few guys who are NHL caliber players right now, which is great. And again, this is the question, do we go off of overall or potential? But someone like Dorian Parra has benefited quite well from being at the NHL level. You know, I got to go with my gut then. My true gut instinct. Let's go with the best potentials possible. Amir McNabb is a medium 6. As is, who was that? That was Timo Toivonen. And Tamarnis is a low 4. And the reason why we want to go with the players that have the best potential is, like we've seen with Etienne Morin, people can improve. That's the whole point of this franchise, is to see people improve and become better versions of themselves. That said, I don't think we have room for any of these guys. They are going to have to be in the AHL, which is okay. Byers has earned that spot. So obviously, NHL-wise, there's a lot of these guys, actually not including DeBoer, but Gombach, who's a 72, he's going to be a very good AHLer for us still. Anybody that's a medium bottom 6. Or even, wow, 74 overall at 20 years old, but a low bottom 6. 7th round pick. That is a very weird player. Look at that physical category, though. Whew. That guy's a wrecking ball. Reese Matsumoto. I mean, he might benefit pretty well from being in the AHL for a decent amount of time. Medium bottom 6. Dorian Parra. A medium 9 for Abdelkader. We're actually making better progress than I thought we would. I don't know how that's happening. Low 9 for Purrington's not that good. Miura could be at the NHL level this year. Appel is 20 years old. He's probably not going to get better, but we can try. So the AHL team did make the playoffs last year. There is a chance they could do so again. It's 10, 11, 12, 13 with Appel. So Appel is probably the one on the outs. For some reason, I didn't get the notification. That's why there's always Twitter and Discord as well. Although, granted, Twitter's a shit show. That's why there's always Discord. What's up, Ender? I'm pretty sure the alert on Discord went through. It absolutely did. There you go. I think those are our 12 forwards. It's not the highest rated forwards that we could have. But that way, too, the AHL team's looking all right. I think we're going with it. I think we are. So forward-wise, medium 9s on the lower lines. Although, I don't think we could put Cole Brown on the 4th line anymore. He's too good for the 4th line. Medium 9s. He's a high bottom 6. Maybe we do just have him as the guy to carry that 4th line. You know, put our trust in him because, oh my god, that top line, by the way, I didn't even notice yet. Para, Barkey, DeBoer is a pretty good 3rd line. Again, Denver Barkey now 91 faceoffs. Face-off lord. And then we can go Miura, Abdicator, Cole Brown. And honestly, I think we keep this 2nd line in terms of personnel intact. Stevenson, Yeager, Gavin. We have some centermen who are phenomenal at faceoffs. And we can go Michkov, Ragnarsson, Mangone. That's not looking that bad, right? It's really not looking that bad. Obviously, defensively, we don't have the outright elite option yet. We are going to put Hamonic with Byers based off of potential and get the 2 low 4s together. But it'll be Morin and Trigg. Trigg does have a good shot. Lettinen, Koistinen, and then Hamonic with Byers. We're getting better. This idea might actually work. As stupid as that sounds. This dumb idea might actually work. Who's that extra forward? Turner Elson. So we have our 3 healthy scratches as well, the cap whales. So that way the AHL is, again, Chubarov, who's a medium elite, but he is 20. And Jermaine Garcia. And then defensively, is there anybody here who is not a drafted good dude? That is not the case. Hate to say it, but we do have 3 low 7ths. Which is a god-awful potential. I think Tukio ends up on the outs for Tamarnis. So Tamarnis and Toivonen. Medium 7th and then 2 low 7ths. Yeah, that's pretty much all we can do. And then forward-wise, we do want to optimize this by potential. God, low bottom 6 is an awful, awful potential. Gotta drop Romeo down a bit. Grunstrom, medium bottom 6. All right, cool. Got the 1 more low bottom 6. So Matsumoto will stay around in the top 6, which works out pretty well. Cool. Ivanov can stay there. We'll go with the highest rateds, which Go with Molnar because he's the youngest. Don't have the best centers, but what are you going to do? All right. I think that's our AHL team this year, which, again, not amazing, but could be good enough to sneak into the playoffs again. I'm going to guess we're still going to be the worst team in the league, although, again, technically last year we weren't. Detroit was worse than we were, which didn't make too much sense, but trust the eyes are playing. All right, Danye, are you still the best coach for us? 67 for a scheme fit. What about Robitaille? No. Can anybody beat the 67 of one Danye? What about McNeely? Westgarth? 47? My God. And Tierney are pretty much our last hope. All right, well, Danye is still our head coach for the season. We just need an AHL goalie coach. And there's a B-rated goalie coach, which is phenomenal. Oh, Mark Dupuis. Mark Dupuis. Goodness. There we go. Max offer for you. And everything else is set up. We're ready to sim this season. Poor chemistry at the moment. That's all right. 40% locker room chemistry at the moment. What do we got? What do we got? We got to get that prediction up there. We will put the over-under at 23.5 wins. Given that we won 21 games last year, we'll actually put it at 24.5 because we are a little bit better. So the prediction is live. And let's take a look at our ratings for the year. Obviously, they'll be better than they've ever been. Doesn't mean they'll be good. 74, 70, and a 74. Actually, we are an AHL caliber team. All right. Go Dudes. Go Dudes. They are improving consistently. 67% locker room chem to start the year. All right. And hopefully one of you... Oh, there's a high 6 this year. Hopefully somebody has some added... Bernard Gamache. Come on. If Bernard Gamache isn't absolutely full of himself, what are we even doing here? With a name like that? Come on. Come on. All right. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do and just how bad we will be. With a name like Bernard, I mean, look, man, if you share a name with the head elf from the Santa Claus, then, I mean, what are you going to do? He was probably named after the character. Let's be honest. He was probably named after the character. It's ridiculous. 6, 6, and 3. Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. The Richmond Americans doing all right for themselves. We're certainly on a decent pace here. We're actually not in dead last in our division as of December 1st. 11 wins as things stand. Oh my God. Also, the 6 overtime losses already helped quite a bit. Thank you, Gary Bettman, for the point. We're hanging in at around 500 in terms of wins-loss. We discard overtime losses. And the bottom is going to fall out a little bit here. It was bound to. How well would this team be doing if we ran with the highest rated players? Because we have some higher overall guys in the AHL, but we're prioritizing development. 21, 21, and 6 as of the totally not all-star break. All right, there we go. 5 straight, 6 straight losses to start the month. 7 straight, 8 straight losses, 9, 10 in a row. There it is. There it is. You knew that it was going to fall off. But we do hit 25 wins. We hit the over. As Anthony Honka for Nick Schmaltz plus draft picks was viewed as a blockbuster by the game. So we have set a new franchise record in wins. Unfortunately, February for us was an outright disaster. Whew, but oh my god, we might actually hit 30 wins. I didn't expect it to be 30. I thought 25 was a bit much. We are losing more than we can afford to, though. It was a good season, but at the end of it, we are going to finish dead last in our division. 30, 43, and 9. Not bad, but still dead last in our division. As Liam Ragnarsson sets a new franchise record for most points in the season with 79. 30 goals for him. Michkov with a career-high 73 points. Mangone, 69 points. And then obviously, outside of the top line, we were carried heavily by those 3. Gavin, Barkey, Jaeger, all with at least 40 points, but the plus-minus not great. Stevenson, 36 points, which is amazing, given that he is only a 75. And then, yeah, Para, 140 penalty minutes for the Enforcer. Defensively, 56 points for Etienne Morin. He's developed very, very well. 30 points for Dom Hamonic. Trigg, 29 points as a rookie. And then in goal, an 895 for Daeg and an 897 for the Swede, Nicholas Enqvist. All in all, easily our best season. Upward trajectory, it's a hell of a thing. Two players scored at least 100 points this season. They were both on the Dallas Stars. 103 points for Rupe Hintz. 132 with 80 goals for Jason Robertson. Insanity. And again, what's funny is you can look at McDavid, but for some reason he doesn't score like that. Jason Robertson did. Connor Bedard also put up 65 and was second in goals. He had Pasta, Thompson, Matthews, Jack Hughes, and some guy named Cameron Ryder, who all at least had 50. Imagine if we had the scoring engine on high, right? It's on medium, for God's sakes. Defensively, 101 points for Thomas Chabot. Fox, Bouchard, Harley, Sandine, York all did very, very well. Also, 43 goals for Thomas Chabot. So while you might think, oh, the reason Robertson scores like that and McDavid doesn't is because his, gold shooting ability, it's not like Thomas Chabot has a gold shooting ability. Although his shot has apparently developed to straight 99s, but again, you would think everything for him is straight 99s offensively, including skating. Jesus, fuck. 90 overall. Craziness. Craziness. Franchise sim engine is undefeated in terms of craziness. It's the only way to put it. Goalie-wise, the winningest UC Saros. Got the Ken Mitchell. The GOAT. Paulie, what's going on? Shutout leader with 8, Eric Portillo of the Dallas Stars now. Save percentage king, UC Saros, at least amongst starters. Jordan Binnington would love living in Florida, wouldn't he? Called a race. It's likely going to Christopher Dominguez in Chicago because of plus-minus as compared to Dalibor Dvorsky. Philip Ekberg was there too. As was Yuri Jass. So, very, very good season for us. We should still have Very, very good lottery odds as well. 30 wins, though. I don't think we'll be dead last. 29th out of 33 teams. So we have top 5 lottery odds. But again, trust the Iser plan. Detroit finishes dead last for the second year in a row. With just a paltry 163 goals for. That is one of the worst offenses I think I've ever seen. Wow. And they allowed the most goals. We allowed the second most. Who the hell is on Detroit? Or who the hell isn't on Detroit? How? Dude. Raymond, Berggren, Howe, Casper, Larkin, Nate Danielson. What the fuck? How are they? It has to be morale. It has to be. Casa had a 9-10. He also faced 2,200 shots. Who faced the most shots this season? It would have to be Casa, right? Oh yeah, he faced the most shots in the NHL. What the hell, dude? The morale system is wreaking havoc on some of these teams. We can't look at an opposing team's coaching staff, unfortunately. I'd love to know what that situation is, but yeah. And unfortunately, the Richmond Americans, while we thought maybe they could make it back to the playoffs, they did not. They were dead last in their division. But yeah, for whatever reason, I mean, look at this Detroit team. Yeah, Dylan Larkin's down to an 81 at 32. That's morale. They are definitely undergoing a morale crisis in some ways. Wow. Yeah, so morale is still a dangerous thing to be played with. It is. My two-way center, 86 overall, 20 years old, scored 53 and 58 points, and now wants $10 million for a one-year deal, $13 million for a 5-year deal. I can promise you the likes of Tactics and myself, Tactics HD on YouTube, of course, you know them, have mentioned that, yeah, that needs to be reworked. Contracts need to be reworked. The Seattle Kraken have won the Stanley Cup. Another Western Conference Stanley Cup winner as they beat Lou Lamoriello's New York Islanders in 5 games. AHL-wise, Calder Cup was won by the Bridgeport Islanders, so it was nearly a double for New York as they swept the Grand Rapids Griffins. So Seattle, led by Brock Besser, Cameron Ryder, Matty Beniers, Shane Wright, Josh Anderson. How did Ottawa not make the playoffs with Shabbat being so good? Because fuck you, that's why. Lukas Dostal, 920 save percentage en route to the championship. So again, the Western Conference has done very, very well. Jason Robertson wins the Art Ross, as well as the Hart. No shit. Cale Makar wins the North. Oh my God, Shabbat didn't... Dude, Shabbat scored how many goals and didn't even win the Norris? Jesus. Robertson wins the Bing. Mitchell in Montreal, the goaltender, wins the Calder. You don't see that every day. Fair enough. That's cool. Conn Smythe goes to Cameron Ryder. Vezina to UC Saros. The lesser, more random awards. Kent Johnson wins his first Selke. Robertson wins the Ted Lindsay and the Rocket Richard. Any familiar names in the AHL? Matthew Savoy scores the most points. Was league MVP for the Laval Rockets. Kevin Ball was the top defenseman on the Calder Cup winning Bridgeport Islanders. And Levi Marilainen was the top goaltender. While Kopstals was the MVP of the playoffs. So 2028-29 is in the books. Let's take a look at the draft class. There is no franchise level player this year. We have top 5 odds, meaning we cannot afford to fall outside of the top 6. And we need someone available. The German Manuel Bakos is viewed as the #1 pick. He would not be eligible for us. Nor is Bernard Gamache. Nor is Rick Draper. We got 3 really good potentials left here. Elliot Arneson. It's not enough. Marshall Coburn, the high 6. It needs to be Jackson Bishop, or this is going to be a bad draft for us. Fuck. Oh, that hurts. Craig Timmons. No. The whole brand new controller. Just dropped it. It's great. I had to buy a new controller because a fucking shoulder button broke. Let's hope that didn't just happen. All right. I mean, teammate utilization can struggle with desire to. That's not really. It's not really toxic enough. Jerry. Again, right now it's teammate utilization. That doesn't work. What about Essa Tuomainen? Maddox Dolan? No. There is a distinct lack of toxic personalities at the top of this draft. Damn it. And this looks like a pretty steep draft. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Marcel Richard. Projected 19th. He's the first real guy we have to look at. We got to rule out Peterson and Wilson. Again, they were borderline, and given that there is someone who actually counts right now, Richard is that guy. And unfortunately, he doesn't look like one of the more elite players of this first round. Damn. Oh, yeah, we'll get the number 1 overall pick this year for sure. Hopefully we find out more about Francois Réaume. Jesse Mills. Jovanovski. Okay, Jovanovski, but he is a confirmed medium 9. And there's Svatos. Yeah, this hasn't gone well for us. Not at all. Bowden's is also possibility this year. Yeah, right now it's looking pretty rough. I'm gonna pin Réaume to the list just to hope that he is someone who will work out for us. But yeah, this isn't really a high risk, high reward lottery for us. We do hold at 5th overall, but again, as far as we know, no one who we'd actually want's available to us is Steven Stamkos, Brad Marchand, Tyler Seguin, amongst others. Nazem Kadri, Matt Duchene are gone. Some respectable careers here. Defensively, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's gone. Adam Larson, Larson, Steven Larson. And goaltending-wise, Marc-Andre Fleury, Yaroslav Halak, and others. The great Malcolm Subban, who I still wish worked out for the Bruins. Couturier becomes a coach. And we are off to the 2029 draft. Again, none of these guys would have been available to us that we know of. We can take one more quick look. And maybe something's changed for some of these people. Again, Grant Peterson would have been amazing, but it doesn't work. Nor does Wilson. Yeah. Some good players at the top of this draft, but the toxic personalities were at a minimum this season. Maybe we'll be able to make other options work. So Richard is still probably our best bet. I'm really, really afraid he's going to be a medium 9. We did not find out enough about Réaume. I should have double-checked. Well, it's fairly obvious then we have to go way off the board. It worked for us once. I don't know if it'll work again. Halifax's Marcel Richard is our top pick. Hate this. Okay, he's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. I really thought he was going to be a medium 9. Medium top 6, 65 overall, 17 years old. That's okay. That's okay. He's not elite in any way, but that'll do. That'll do, that'll do. I'm not really worried about who else was there. Next up. All right, second round. So far, it's Vernaski off of teammate utilization. Concerns about professional or handling a professional environment for Johnny Lawrence. There isn't the one like clear-cut selection. Character issues, but would mesh well in any locker room. It's a bit funky for DePenta. Game doesn't know what the hell it's talking about. Emotions in check for Dale Purcell. Gehring we know nothing about. Or at least there's nothing to report. Spike Johnston, great name. Character issues for Rylan Lieb. Nothing about the goaltender Yuri Petrov. All right, we do have a couple of options, which is very nice. I think now it's just going to be can we pick the right one? All right, let's call a timeout here, even though I do have time. We got to make sure we get this one right. So defensively, Howard, teammate utilization, nothing else. Teammate utilization, nothing else. Character issues. So Rylan Lieb is definitely there. Lawrence concerns. I think I'm going to rule out both defensemen. We have guys who fit the bill better than teammate utilization. That's kind of the like, all right, we're desperate for someone. Lack of character, but also would mesh well in any locker room. Really weird. Emotional at times with character issues. It's going to be one of these forwards. So it's Cademan Tamara. 4 years out at 18. Probably a medium 9. Doug DePenta, unconfirmed 3 years out at 18. Dale Purcell, unconfirmed 4 years out, but does have a style comparison, which is nice. Johnny Lawrence, 4 years out, also has a style comparison. And Rylan Lieb, unconfirmed 3. It's got to be one of those top 3. It's got to be. All of them had somewhat respectable point totals. Lawrence and Purcell were a bit better. The grades are all pretty much even from what we can tell. But for Lieb, 3 out of 4 bars, 3 years compared to 4 for the other two. Johnny Lawrence being 3 out of 4 medium top 6 is great, but that ends up being a heartbreaker if he's a medium 9. I feel like I'd regret giving up on Johnny Lawrence. I'm going to go for Rylan Lieb of Rimouski, who is a medium 9 at 62. Did we mess up? Did we mess up? Bertans. Did we mess up? Vernaski was never really in the conversation. That's unfortunate. Yep, we fucked up. Oh, we fucked up. The last time I took someone who was 3 out of 4 medium 6, they ended up being a medium 9. Not this time. We should have taken Lawrence. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Horts as the Bruins get a Thornton, who's very, very good. Ottawa gets a Sanderson, who's very, very good. But yeah, we messed up. We messed up. The guy we got isn't that bad, but Lawrence was the pick. Damn. It just goes to show, man, it's a toss-up. Like I said, sometimes 3 out of 4s end up being mediums, but hey, as you see there, sometimes they end up being very good. So. Alright. Well, let's see if we can, rebound a little bit. Yeah, that, oh, that hurts. I had a really good feeling about Johnny Lawrence, too, but I just didn't want to mess it up. And in doing that, we messed it up. And so far in the 3rd round, we got a whole bunch of nothing. There we go. Jorgen Lindgren. He is a medium 9, but he perfectly fits the bill. So does the Estonian Malakoff. At least we have a couple of options, and to be honest, medium 9 isn't that bad. More character issues. Austin Winkler. Let's see. All right. I guess at least we got a couple of players to look at. That Lawrence pick will haunt me for a while, though. "45 seconds. Duck Nasty, what's going on? What do I think of the draft?" Did talk about it on a recent episode of the old podcast. It was as typical of an NHL draft as there can be. Oh, there's going to be a bunch of trades. No, there isn't. Oh, can you believe this guy fell down the board or to the 2nd round? Yes, I can. It happens every year. It was just the most typical NHL draft of all time. Is the only way to put it. It's just very, very typical. All right. What do we got here? We still don't have a goalie, which is okay. Defensively, Pete Strombolopoulos has very good puck skills. Can't skate worth a damn. 4 years out at 19. Gabriel Monroe is confirmed medium 7th. We got to aim higher than that. And then there's Winkler. 19 years old, unconfirmed 3 years out. So they're both okay. Forwards, Ulf Enqvist. 4 years out at 18. And then the medium 9s, we have Malakoff 4 years out. Lindgren 4 years out. So we could take a sure thing in one of the medium 9s. Or we risk it for someone else. 18, 4 years out. Looking at 23 for Strombo. I think I'm going to rule out Strombo just because of his age, of when he's supposedly going to be ready. So we're down to 4. Enqvist only played 9 games. Malakoff played 23 games, didn't do much. Same for Lindgren. And then Winkler did decently for Everett. I like the grit with the lack of character. That's fun. That's a fun time. Honestly, Enqvist is probably available in the next round. I think we go for Winkler here, and then we go for Enqvist in the next round. Austin Winkler of the Everett Silvertips is a low 4, 66 overall at 19. That's not too bad. Still don't like low 4 potential, but that's not too bad. And at this point, we got to start sorting by potential. So can we land anybody else? Please. Anybody? Anybody at all? It's not looking good. The dudes with high potential. It's not looking good. Oh, man. And that is why that Lawrence pick is going to haunt us. Can't really afford to miss out on players like that all that often. Right now, there's really nobody that fits the bill. Yeah, the rest of this draft is going to be a big problem. Rest of this draft is going to be a huge problem. Oh, man. All right. Well, we pretty much just have to go off of the first person that we find, really. Who is the first person that we find that fits the theme of what we're going for? If anybody. Concerns about how he keeps his emotions in check. It's going to be Pete. We had him on our short list last time. Pete Strombopoulos. Strombo, medium 660 overall. Serviceable. Serviceable. Round number 5. Round number 5. Do we have anybody? Honestly, at this stage, it's the first dude that we find that fits the theme is the pick, so needle in a haystack from the looks of it. Character issues, but would mesh well in any locker. 20 years, fuck it. Trenton O'Neill, it's close enough. Yeah, you're terrible. We knew you would be. But the rest of this draft is going to be terrible for us, so. Not one to remember fondly this draft. It's such a bummer to see certain attributes and then you get your hopes up for half a second, only for the game to just immediately murder those hopes. Drake Verdino, another overager. Problem is, he's 20 years old and only a 56. But say hello to a starting defenseman at the NHL level next year to try and get that overall to skyrocket. I think the first low elite we've drafted. Look at that fucking save percentage for Ville Tarkki. Jesus. I think the first elite that we've low elite that we've drafted. Outside of Michkov, I suppose. Anybody? We need one more. One more. Everyone's a fucking nice guy. Everyone's just a fucking kind, patient, salt of the earth type of guy. Good to know. Liam Samuelson. Oh, God. Confirmed low 9, but whatever. He's the guy. We got an interesting low elite, even though he's an overager, but yeah, that was a bad draft, man. That was a bad draft. Right when we get that optimism, a draft like that knocks us back down. Gabriel Daig has gone up to a low elite. That is tremendous. And Chubarov is now tied for the second highest rated goaltender on the team. Goaltending, we're looking good. Etienne Morin is going to be expensive as all hell. Obviously, Hamanek's going to stay. Lettinen's going to stay. Byers isn't going anywhere. Honestly, we don't have to immediately sign people anymore, which is great. Obviously, the choice is like, hey, do we keep like Ellis and Yell around because they're not going to get much better? It does show us on 50 contracts. Interesting. We'll qualify those who we know that we're going to be keeping. But there are definitely some of these like medium AHL level players that might not be sticking around anymore. DeBoer's going nowhere. Para's going nowhere. Finally up to the 71. And then Braden Yeager's going to be qualified. Jordan Gavin. Denver Barkey. Stevenson goes nowhere. All right. So yeah, we'll have some decisions to make, certainly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6 with Verdino. We have to sign him immediately. So now we'd be talking about depth defenders. Obviously, guys like Ron Kell shouldn't have probably been signed. Strombo could immediately go to the AHL. Trenton O'Neill, we don't really have to care about. So we will sign Strombo since he can go to the AHL immediately. Winkler cannot, and he won't go to the NHL immediately either. So we'll leave Winkler out of it. Let him develop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. D. Krause, what's going on? It's been a bit. And Davis. Sweet, beautiful, handsome Davis. Thank you for the raid. How was your Game Boy experience? From what I heard. Qualified Koistinen. We are going to be saying goodbye to Calvin Ellis. 6th rounder in 2022. One of the original good dudes. But Calvin Ellis can't skate worth a shit. So he's gone. And as will be Ricky Yell. 4th rounder in 2024. Ricky Yell's on the way out. It's D-Krause. It's draft to glory, and we are only drafting players who have character issues to try and turn them into good dudes. And then forward-wise, God, there's going to be a lot to decipher. We know that we're going to want to sign Marcel Richard, even though he can play for Halifax with that potential. We want him on an NHL roster fast. Follett of the Betholay. Gombach, we don't know yet. Turner Ellison can go. He was a veteran depth signing this year. Rylan Lieb is a toss-up. I don't think he inherently has to be at the NHL level. A lot of medium bottom 6s. Okay, so let's see what we got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So AHL is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so obviously we have roughly about 7 players we can keep. And we'll go with the highest rateds for the dudes with bad potentials. So Gombach will be one of them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with Brunstrom. Is there anybody that I regret not keeping? The answer is no. All right, so unfortunately, Jacques Appel, who was only a 56 at 21 years old, that's just somebody that can go. I mean, he's not going to make it. 5th round pick in 2026 has nothing going for him attribute-wise. He's out. So say goodbye to Jacques Appel. We'll be saying goodbye as well to Serge Bouchard, 5th round pick in 2025. Again, just not going to cut it. Way too low of an overall at his age. We'll also say goodbye to Christopher Thibodeau. Is 23, but the potential's not great. 7th round pick in 2024 for Thibodeau. Does have good shot power, but couldn't hit the broadside. Ooh, well, you know, has good shot power, has decent skating. Maybe we keep Christopher Thibodeau. Chase Berthollet, the Berthollet. is relatively well-rounded, decent defensively from an awareness standpoint. 26 years old. He is what he is. He is on the way out. Frederick Potvin, 3rd rounder in 2022. Again, at 25, he's not going to get much better. Doesn't have too much going for him. So, Mr. Potvin, you are gone. And then Luka Aur, 2nd rounder in that extra 2022 draft. Doesn't have much going for him. It's the worst version of who we elected to keep. So, for the first time, we say goodbye to some people, but hey, it's the name of the business.